Good morning, students. Now I'm proceeding further in order to understand and see what exactly Vishwanath Bhatt in his book Nyaya Siddhanta Muktavali is discussing about the differences of a soul, which I have showcased in the earlier part of my discussion on the differences between the general and the individual soul. Now in this particular video of mine, the discussion would be pertaining to the differences of souls are there. Fine, I have understood that. Now he is in the next paragraph discussing about the not only the differences of a soul, and you will see the practical application of the individual human beings who are existing in the world, as well as the manner the entire thing is being associated with the substances which are existing in the external world. So here in this particular discussion, you will see that yes, there are differences of a soul and how he is connecting it to the true substratum of the matter. Now when I say the true substratum, we should understand that how he is I should say discussing about the manner in which the human being is perceiving the other substance which is existing in the world, and the manner the entire thing is working out in the respective body, human body I'm talking about here. Now here you will see that soul in one part he says it is real in nature. You cannot doubt about it, okay, number one. Number two, he even says that they are different from one another. Okay, souls are different from one another, not only from one another, even from the substratum of the matter which exists in the he made it very clear that yes, they are discussing in what we call it as the space and time also side by side. So this part of it is really important for me to understand. Now here in this also he makes it very clear because it is real in nature, number one. Number two, he says with the help of the sense organs, it perceives through the senses and the matter which is existing in this world. So this gives you a neat understanding as to how the relationship between the soul, the subject and the object is taking place. Now are you able to see the manner here the subject is existing and the object which is present in the world, how nicely he has connected, and he is discussing taking the help of the sense organ. So here when you are perceiving, when you means the soul is perceiving or the individual human being is perceiving with the help of the senses, you should understand. Now he introduces what he calls it as there are no arguments, no premises, and does not follow from the premises at all. So can you see the way he has started discussing, because the school of Nayayikas are highly relying on their logic. Remember that they are in fact known to be logicians, the traditional school of logicians. So here he is introducing that yes, there are no arguments, no premises, and does not follow from the premises also. Pure sensory experience. Now I hope you are able to understand when I say pure level of sensory experience, pure consciousness, pure awareness, and pure ultimate consciousness which is present over there without any kind of shades of the language coming and radiating from that particular experience. Now this is something which is talking on one hand. Secondly, he comes over and in the same paragraph he has started discussing, saying that the soul which is present and with the help of the mind. Now he uses the word through. If you know a little bit of Sanskrit, the words equivalent to in English, we can make it to through, and then the entire thing he makes it up and he says that intimately connected with each other. Now, who are each other out here? The soul and the mind. The word that he uses is Atman plus the mind, that is Chintan. Together, they are so closely attached to each other that we can see the psychological effects that are present out here immediately. And then he says, with the help of the mind, the soul, which is all pervading, now he is now somehow coming up and giving us the qualities of soul also, which I am not going to discuss right now. However, after I complete this portion, I will be highlighting what he means by saying these things also. So, soul plus, with the help of the mind, is able to perceive the objects existing in the world, number one, and these are the qualities of the external objects, which I have already discussed, that yes, there are certain qualities which are present for the object existing in the external world on one side, and on the other hand, we have got the qualities which you can see is present for the internal object also side by side. So, these are certain things which he is talking on one side. So, he has introduced, I would say, in a very neat manner, the psychological understanding or the phenomenological explanation for the way in which the perception is taking place on one side. On the other hand, here he has introduced the qualities of soul also, and he says it is all pervading, number one. Number two, it is infinite. So, here when you are he introduces now it is all pervading and infinite. Try to understand that he is talking about infinite soul. Now, infinite soul is different from the general soul. Now, the demarcation line you need to draw, and then you can say that when he is introducing infinite, it means that ether, space and time, it is beyond these things also side by side. So, he has introduced the infinite soul in this manner. However, the criticism which you can add out here is that why he is immediately, if he is discussing about the soul which is part of the different souls, immediately this is talking in one way it is the individual soul, then we cannot see any discussion on general soul. He immediately jumps and he discusses about the infinite soul. So, it is somehow that link is missing out here. However, again I am adding out here, you need to understand that yes, he is taking care of it. However, in the translations, the commentaries which are present, they have missed out the saying that Vishwanath Bhatt has discussed about the qualities of the infinite soul. Again I am repeating, there are differences: individual soul, general soul and infinite souls. Okay. Now, the three different kind of souls have come in for us, number one. Number two, we will have to understand that yes, individual soul, individual act, individual qualities. And then if you are discussing about that, the perception, the qualities of the external object and the qualities of the I should say the object which is present internally also. So, they have distinguished these things also side by side, and then he is talking about the general soul, and we will see what is the why they wanted the general soul in their argument in the entire thing, and how it is important, and why he is introducing even the infinite soul in his discussions. So, let me stop here and let me come up with yet another discussion in the next paragraph, where he is now going to discuss more about the connection between the soul and the perceptions, and from there what kind of argument can you draw for the nature of the verbal knowledge that we are discussing out here. I hope I am making the things clear out here. Let me proceed, and you will see that this discussion is very, very different from the way Austin has discussed in his book, and you are able to see the differences in Frege's Russell, then Austin, finally Vishwanath Bhatt. How all four of them are different and making us understand as to how to proceed further. You can say that yes, Vishwanath Bhatt belongs to the traditional school, so obviously this is the most ancient text that we have got, and we need to appreciate the fact that yes, he has given to us a very important part wherein we can understand what is the descriptivism, or what I call it as the verbal descriptivism theory that is used in our societies when we are interacting, and what is the importance of the language. Till now he hasn't introduced it, so in the next one let me proceed further and see what we can deduce, and from there we can move ahead. Till then, thank you and take care. Bye.